Gaith Group is communicating this incident in order for all employees to be aware of the incident details, root cause, and corrective actions in order to prevent or reduce the likelihood of reoccurrence.
High potential drill pipe drop. What happened? While laying down a joint of 5.5 drill pipe out of the V-door with the use of the catwalk machine, the catwalk machine operator and 2 floormen were in the red zone at this time. The BX hydraulic elevators inadvertently opened, resulting in the box end of the pipe dropping 17 feet to the rig floor, landing near the personnel in the red zone. Consequences: high potential near miss. The drops calculator indicated potential fatality. Why did it happen? When pressured up and at a certain position on the handling ring/air conductor, the pressure from port number 7 bypassed into plugged port number 6 and then bypassed into port number 5. BX elevator open, resulting in a BX elevator open command without action from the driller. Employees were in the red zone without permission from the driller, considering the risk discussed and documented on the task risk assessment prior to task. What should be done to prevent reoccurrence? Dedicated green zones must be clearly marked for employees to stand in while rig floor equipment is moving. Red zone officer must be nominated daily on each crew to monitor personnel and stop them from entering the red zone without verbal confirmation from the driller. Personnel only allowed to enter the red zone after verbal confirmation from the driller or assistant driller, AD, and after moving equipment stops. OM/TPs shall instruct the expectations of employees on red zone, including the use of dedicated green areas. Red zone officer, and only entering the red zone after verbal confirmation from driller or AD. Areas where improvement is needed, workers must adhere to red zone standards and only enter the red zone when authorized to do so. Work supervisors must educate crews on red zone requirements and red zone officer, preventing any unauthorized access. Traveling block descended on Kelly during connection. Incident description: during run-in hole, RIH, with 6 drift BHA, while the crew picked up connecting the Kelly with drill string, suddenly, the traveling block descended about 2 feet and rested on the Kelly swivel. No damage and/or injuries reported due to this incident. Initial findings: manual brake was not applied, not secured with chain, while torquing Kelly, and only the emergency brake was engaged. Air control valves for catheads activated and allowed the system pressure to loss, resulting in emergency brake failure. Simultaneous jobs were done on the rig floor without relevant work permit. No warning alarm system to alert the driller about low air pressure. Immediate actions recommendations: the activity was stopped and a safety stand-down was conducted with all staff at site to discuss about this incident. It is recommended to A. Always ensure manual brake is engaged chained, instead of relying only on the emergency brake. B. Verify and ensure all the critical alarms are functioning properly. C. Conduct refresher awareness to the crew on the simultaneous operations. High potential drill pipe drop. What happened? Description of event: after completing run-in hole, RIH, 3.5 completion tubing, 1 pup joint got damaged by the power tong. Decision was made to lay it down. The power tong operator, injured person, IP, subcontractor crew, parked the power tong offline and attempted to fix the stuck backup jaw while rig crew were laying down the damaged pup joint. IP placed his left hand in the backup jaws in attempt to fully open the stuck backup jaw, while his right hand was on control levers, when suddenly the backup jaw closed and caught his left hand 2 fingers, middle ring fingers, resulting in crushed injury. Why has it happened? Causes: the power tong was not isolated from the hydraulic energy before troubleshooting. No WMS was in place for changed scope for troubleshooting and repair of the power tong. JSA did not cover hazards and controls for tool malfunctioning. IP did not inform driller before doing troubleshooting job in the power tong. Power tong backup jaw malfunctioned and got stuck while running 3.5 completion tubing. IP did not inform or ask coworker for assistance. Recommended actions: ensure that troubleshooting on the power tong like change of dies, jaws, etc. should be done under energy isolation. Ensure that all the jobs including troubleshooting are carried out under WMS and JSA, with all relevant hazards and controls are covered. Never initiate any task without permission or clearance from the area authority. Drop of CRT, what happened, description of event. While RIH 95 of 8 casing tubular, after run 112 joint and moving with top drive system up to take the next joint, the casing running, tools slipped/disconnected from top drive system and fall down from height, 35 feet, landed on top of the casing tubular joint box, causing damage to the casing tubular joint. No personal injury. Why has it happened? Causes: improper decision-making, lack of judgment, improper make-up torque between crossover and TDS sever sub, defective tools, visual damage on the saver sub pin and crossover box, inadequate development for PSP of the task. The minimum allowed torque of the connection was not mentioned in the task procedures. Inadequate assessment of potential failure. The design of the CRT not having a mechanism or secondary retention to support in case of thread failure. Inadequate inspection. Audit, monitoring, saver sub or crossover was defective, and it was not inspected. Recommended actions: always verify the connection between saver sub and crossover of the casing running tool during run-in-hole operation. Minimum torque for the CRT connection with TDS to be clearly identified in the job order as per the tool manual. Checklist for CRT installation to be utilized, including the visual inspection of the saver sub and crossover. Discuss the required control measures as per job safety analysis, JSA, including the drop zone identification toolbox talk prior start of activities. Discuss the CRT installation and running procedures during pre-job meetings, with focus on potential risks and safety. Precautions. Injury to cementing operator while cleaning the tank. What happened? After completion of cement mixing job, the senior cement operator was cleaning the mixing tank for the next cement batch at night. The water hose was stuck, entangled, and while pulling the hose, the cement operator slipped, falling backwards, hitting his head on the edge of mixed tank flange, causing cut injury on the head. The injured person was administered first aid at rig. He was administered first aid at rig site and sent to Adnoc site clinic. From there he was referred to hospital. Why it happened? Slip and trip hazards. Housekeeping in the working area. Use of water hose without the required jetting nozzle equipped with ball valve as per original equipment manufacturer recommendations. The water hose was stored near operating panel with water accumulating around the cement unit causing slippery surface. The surge tank foundation connection plates contain sharp edges. The operator's hand slipped as he was pulling on a water hose. Lessons learned. Ensure appropriate tools and equipment is provided to operators as per original equipment manufacturer recommendations. Ensure actions are implemented associated with reported hazardous situations/conditions. Ensure workplace conditions are maintained in a safe manner with hazards such as tripping/slipping removed. Ensure workplace lighting is sufficient as per human factors engineering specs. Finger injury while breaking out BHA connection. What happened? Description of event. While breaking out connection of BHA, an assistant driller sustained injuries in his left thumb and index finger due to caught in between spinner chain of hawk jaw and the tubular. The injured person, IP, was administered first aid at site and sent to ADNOC site clinic. From there he was referred to hospital for further treatment. Immediate cause, lack of knowledge of hazards present. The injured person, a green hand, could not anticipate hazards due to narrow gap between horizontal handle and push button of the spinner chain. Improper decision making / lack of judgment. Unintentional dynamic risk was not assessed while breaking out BHA assembly in suspended mode. Task continued without TOFS and risk assessment. Root causes: inadequate planning or risk assessment performed. There was no risk assessment performed when the POO and lay down BHA operation was changed when parted BHA, float sub, surfaced on the rig floor. Inadequate identification of worksite, job hazard, job safety analysis, JSA, did not address the risks associated with the tasks using the hawk jaw. Inadequate leadership. Activities were conducted without ensuring availability of sufficient, competent resources for carrying out the task safely, including appropriate risk assessment. Lessons learned include dynamic risks, change in task in the JSA to identify all the hazards associated with the changed task and to provide appropriate risk control measures as required. Ensure non-routine task for POO and laydown must be stopped and reassessed. Reinforce strict compliance to the standing instructions issued for effective green hands, hats management. Ensure comprehensive training to the rig floor crew on safe use of hawk jaw, including green hands, hats, and acting positions. Uncontrolled descending of top drive system. What happened? Description of event. During drilling 8.5 section using OBM with hole depth 9,156 feet, Schwebe D. After drill out stand number 89, driller washed up and started reaming down. While attempted to engage drawworks brake with top drive approximate 30 feet above rotary table to set the slips, the driller noticed no response from brake system and traveling block was continuously descending. Finally, the top drive system, TDS, rested on the rotary table. No injuries reported due to this incident. Immediate cause: defective equipment. There were massive wear of one of brake bands of the drawwork. Step marks observed in equalizer beam hole and protrusion in eye-bolt adjusting nut. Scratch marks observed as well at EQ beam seat were on adjusting nut, leading to entanglement of brake handle. Servicing of equipment in operation. Brake band bolts were loose, and nuts were not properly locked/trimmed. Grease fittings were not installed on brake band lower eye connected to cranks at the time of inspection. Root causes: inadequate repair. Drum assembly was removed due to water leakage on DS brake for repair. During repair in drilling workshop and prior to removing drum assembly, the supporting pad eye was cut and re-welded again towards drum side, which lead to improper brake band alignment. Inadequate implementation of PSP, PMSWOs for DW, mechanical, were closed without physical verification/validation. Lessons learned. Ensure preventive maintenance tasks list for conventional drawwork include whole brake mechanism members integrity inspection, verify, validate brake system mechanism on convention drawwork by cold eye, are recommended to carry out drawwork and TDS repair works under OEM supervision. Issue standing inspection to ensure that rig maintenance team is engaged while carrying out repair of drawwork and TDS at the workshop. TDS grabber drop, drill pipe guide. What happened? Description of event. While drilling of 26-inch surface hole, there was an abrupt drop of the top drive system, TDS, pipe guide grabber from a height of approximately 60 feet to the rig floor. No injuries to personnel were reported. Initial findings. TDS grabber assembly bolts were worn out from inside, which compromised necessary grip for keeping the assembly tight to stationary assembly. Bolt lock wire was found in damaged state, which failed in keeping the bolt intact to the assembly. Secondary retention cable failed to hold the load of the stabbing guide. The rig had sustained harsh drilling post-jarring on the previous well and no detailed inspection as per OEM. Recommendation was undertaken. Immediate action recommendation. All the activities were stopped and safety stand-down was conducted at site. It is recommended to conduct a comprehensive inspection on grabber guide bolt lock wire mechanism for wear and tear and replaced effectively across rig fleet. Post-harsh drilling jarring operation. A detailed 4 hours inspection as per OEM recommendation shall be undertaken with photographic evidence. There should be effective OEM recommended maintenance of the equipments and auxiliaries substantiated with photographic evidence. Fall from silo injury. A plant operator was engaged in an activity to remove handrails at the top of a silo. While removing bolts using a manlift, he fell 9.7 meters to the ground along with a handrail. Initial findings. The injured person was wearing a double lanyard safety harness. A severely corroded handrail detached from its base. The double lanyard was hooked to a severely corroded handrail, which detached and dropped. Non-compliance with work management system requirements. IEPTWJSA. No planned inspection, maintenance for the corroded handrails and fixed ladders. Immediate actions recommendations. An immediate ban was enforced on climbing up or working on top of silos, bulk tanks until further notice. Immediate safety stand-down shall be conducted across the fleets to discuss the incident and immediate corrective actions. Carry out condition assessment on all handrails. Protective devices which are not normally used. When you give safety a little time, it will give you lifetime. Let us all work safely and return home safety to our family.